My GitHub repo looks like it's failing. There must have been some changes. I think there's some breaking changes. So I want to show you how I'm using Atom to do some mass replaces across my config to fix those breaking changes. Let's roll the intro. My build is definitely failing. We can see that it's failing right on my GitHub. So let's upgrade Home Assistant. So I'm gonna go to my Docker files and I'm gonna type in HA update. We're gonna just blow through this real fast. It's updating all of the Docker images for Home Assistant to the latest one. So this way we can fix this correctly. Now that it's updated, I'm gonna log in as HAS user. And then I'm gonna do my git update. What this does is this will show me what errors. So it will launch a separate version of HAS and then run the config. So it's basically a config checker. And here, once the config is done, we can see that I have two errors. One of them is for process monitor and the other one is for this light JSON. So I think the first thing I wanna fix is the system monitor. Okay, let's take a quick look at the system monitor component. There was a breaking change that changed the last boot. And I need to change this in my configuration. So I'm gonna copy that and I am gonna change to Atom and I'm gonna do Control-Shift-F. Here, I'm gonna type in last boot and I wanna find it in the entire project. So my project, my whole Home Assistant configuration is Docker. I'll put a link in the descriptions to talk about, it just talks about how I transitioned from my Raspberry Pi over to a Docker image. And this is mounted from my laptop that I do all my work on to the Docker configuration for Home Assistant. So here's the entire Home Assistant configuration that I have. So we're gonna use this as the project and we're gonna search through the entire thing. So let's go ahead and do find all. And the old, so this was the breaking change. The old thing that's failing is since _ last boot and we need to change that to just last boot. And you can see I have this in a lot of different places. So we have it in some configuration, we have it in the sensors, in some of my packages, recorder. So what we want to do is we want to do since _ last boot, and we're just going to change that to last boot. We're going to change from since to last. We have to find all of the since last boots, and we're going to change them all to just last boot. So we're gonna let this search just finish. It found 13 results in 7 files. Now we're gonna say replace all. We wanna replace it all, yep. And there you go, it changed it all. So that should be good. Now we'll jump back to our Home Assistant. So we're gonna log in as HAS. And then what we're going to do is now we're gonna run, because those were, as soon as you do that change and replace across multiple files, it's all saved. So we're gonna do that HAS user again, and then we're gonna run my git update, which is the config checker. We're gonna see if that error goes away. So we're testing against a brand new one, and it did. So what I can see, let's open this up a little. What I can see is that it changed all these files, fixed all of it, and the only error we have now is the light.mqtt JSON error, which I'm not exactly sure what that one is, but we'll put that aside. So this, we're gonna commit this save, and we have one more. Fix the breaking change for system. And this will get pushed up to my repo. If you haven't checked out my repo, you can check it out. All of the code that I do, all of my live code for my house is on my repo, so you can download it, you can use it. There'll be some links somewhere for that. Speaking of my repo, let's jump over to the repo because there was an issue added to my to-do list from Silver Git about a typo. So I've been spelling ubiquity wrong. So let's also use Atom to fix that. So we're going to go back to Atom, and this time we're going to do a search for ubiquity. And then the correct spelling, well actually that is the correct spelling. The bad spelling, the way I've been spelling it, is with a Y. Let's do find all. Again, this goes across the entire project, and it should be in 2 locations. So it's in my pie hole and it's in my device tracker, and we're going to replace those. Yes. Let's run this hash. Let's make sure that we did not break anything. You should always run the config checker whenever you make changes to your configuration. This way, if something breaks, you can just back it out very quickly. Still, we'll have to fix that, but this was issue 465. 465. Thanks for the notification of the spelling error. All fixed now. This is how I'm using Atom to fix, basically to manage different files and do search and replace across all the YAML. So when I need to make global-wide YAML changes, this is how I do it. With all those changes, we can go back to our web browser. We're going to scroll down to the bottom of my website. We're going to click here to get to my GitHub. And here we can see that we now have a passing build. So all the changes were made. It's off camera, but that last error that I had, which was the change, the MQTT _ JSON, there was a breaking change. So if you look in the changelog, you can see that they refactored the MQTT Lite. So now I just had to do a quick search and replace to replace MQTT _ JSON with just MQTT, and everything worked perfectly.